So on Wednesday, we left off with, we were annotating our ecosystem article, okay? So what I want to do right now is I just want to give you a few minutes to look over your article, and what we're going to focus on today in the beginning of this class is we're going to focus on some of the words and phrases that you saw in the article, okay? So any unknown or unfamiliar words or phrases that you might say to yourself, I'm not positive what that means, okay? Or I need to know a little bit more about this. Okay, so right now I'm going to give you about 2 minutes independently to look over and make sure that you annotated the words how you want to, okay? So everyone just kind of skim and scan, read through, and look to see if you circled the words like we talked about, remember? The symbol for unfamiliar words when you're reading is a circle around the word, okay? All right, guys. Give me a finger. Show me your fingers. How many more minutes do you need? And this is good, but is it just this, or do you understand what this means? Like, that they're ecology balanced, keeping their ecology balanced. Do you know what both of those mean? Okay, so circle both. All right, guys, let's come back together. I noticed that a lot of you, when you went back to look and annotate a little bit more, you came up with some more words that you circled, so that's good, okay? Because we have to really be honest with ourselves. Do we really know this word? Can we use this in a sentence? Can we explain it to someone, right? All right, let's go over our learning targets again, okay, since Wednesday, okay? So can we read these together, ready? I can explicitly annotate evidence while reading an article about ecosystems to support my answers using the box organizer. Very good. Okay, so explicitly, that's a really big word. It just means we're going to clearly state, okay? We're going to clearly state what we annotated and cited and use that text evidence, that information from the text, to support our answers on the 4-box organizer. So at the end of towards the end of class today, you're going to get a 4-box organizer, and you're going to answer those 4 questions using your text evidence, okay? And using what you annotated to help you, all right? All right, let's look at our next learning target that we're going to be focusing on. Ready? I play orderly and therefore how I use clues and iron knowledge to follow the meaning of words, phrases, and strange with order. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to touch on those 2 standards today. All right. The first thing I'm going to have you all do is I'm going to have you pick a partner. But hear me out. You're going to pick a partner first, okay? When you get with your partner, you're going to have your annotated article and they'll have theirs, okay? It's ready to go. What did I say on Wednesday? Is Danny's annotated article going to be the same as Jose's? No. We all know different things. We all think differently. We have different connections to the words that we read. So it's okay. And I want you to notice the differences and the similarities between what words or phrases you circled or which ones you didn't. Okay, so I'm going to have you pick a partner right now, and so I'm going to give you a second. Go pick what partner you want. We're going to have one group of 3, okay? So it's okay if you're in a group of 3 because we have 9, all right? So pick your partners right now, and I'm going to get your sheets for you. Okay. You guys partners? Yes. Awesome. All right, here. This is for you. Put your name on top. Oh, Sal. Oh, and you're there. Awesome. All right, here. Get close. Move closer so you guys can talk. All right. Awesome. You guys are partners. Close to me. Here, just bring that chair in there. Okay? Girls, these are for you. Let's steal your bag.
So much more videos.
Get close. Alright. Alright, so everyone, look up here. Put your name on top.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. Let's look at the directions, okay? It's who can read the directions for us? Okay, Danny, nice and loud.
Share your words/phrases and annotations with a partner. Discuss what you have in common and some of the differences.
Okay, good. So you're good. This is a chance for you to share with your partner and for them to share with you what words or phrases you might have annotated and why, okay? It could be something you already know that you have prior knowledge about. It could be something that you think you know, but you're not 100% sure, so you want some more clarity on it, okay? These sentence frames, I want you to use these sentence frames here that I put to start your conversations and to help with your writing, okay? Because at the end of your discussion, I want you and your partner or partners to come up with like, I don't know, I put 4 boxes here, but like come up with like at least 2 or 3 words that you are gonna write and you're gonna write about after you've talked about them, and you're gonna say, I think this means blank. And I want you to put in, bless you, what you think it means based on your talking to one another, having that conversation, and based on using the clues and your prior knowledge of with the text. Okay? Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, so these frames are here to help you to speak with your partner and to help you start to think about what you guys have in common and what are some differences. All right? So I'm going to have you get to work. All right? I'm going to be walking around. All right.
That paper.
How did you know that? Did you show me. Yeah, it's in the text twice. Let's go back to the sentence here. So, read that to me.
However, they differ from producers because they still need to get their nutrients from other organisms or from waste matter.
Waste matter that's what?
Expelled by other organisms.
Good. So what words gave you a clue on that you think that expelled means release?
Release from waste matter.
Good, because if something's a waste to you, are you going to keep it?
No.
No, you're going to get rid of it, right? Great job. Awesome. Did you guys have a word in common or a phrase that you thought was kind of unknown?
We could put that.
Did you? Well, it's on there. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's read the sentence together. Right here. It says,
I chose the word autotrophs because, and I think it means that autotrophs don't need to kill to eat.
what's a good word for college? What's the previous?
Because it could mean 2 different things.
Okay, good. Ecosystem starts with eco.
It means
When you think of ecosystem, you think of what? Yeah, the forest or the environment, right? So ecology, eco, okay, so we're thinking of homes in the inner environment, and then it ends in ology. Do you guys know what ology is? Have you ever heard of like biology? Yeah. Do you know what that is? What is it? Yeah. Biology is what? Oh, you're thinking of autobiography. Okay. I'm thinking of the word ology. Okay. Ology is the study of. So if that's the study of, and you know eco is, what do you think ecology is? The study of what? What? The study of the forest? Yeah, the study of the environment. So if they want to keep their ecology balanced, what do you think that means? What does balanced mean? The same? Okay. Or maybe they want to keep it equal. What do you mean by that? Okay, and when you're talking about, when you say the word thing, you're referring to what? Good. So you're talking about plants, animals, decomposers, yeah. So you don't want too much of something and not enough of something else, because that would be what? Unbalanced. Yeah, very good. All right, I will put that there, and I want you to write what you think the meaning is. Good job breaking it apart, looking at both words. Okay, let's come over here. What are one of the words? Okay, so you all put vital down. You weren't sure of it. You knew it. That's one you had in common, or you didn't know vital? How about you? Okay, so let's go back to the text. Where did you see vital? Can you show me?
The first paragraph.
Okay, the first paragraph. Oh, okay. Well, it's okay. But you said, Solomon, you're not sure, right? All right. Who can you read the sentence, Jose, that has the word vital in it?
Both oxygen and carbon dioxide are vital gases that different organisms can use.
Okay, good. Stop right there. We know what oxygen is, right? What do we do with oxygen? Yeah, we breathe in it, yep, and then we release what?
Carbon dioxide.
Good. Okay, so if we're talking about those two gases, right? And it says right here, let's look and see if there's any clues around it that can help us to understand what vital is. So right here it says both oxygen and carbon dioxide are vital gases that different organisms can use. Okay, so we know that all different organisms use them, right? So if all different organisms use them, are they what? Is that important or is that not important? Yeah. So based on that part of all organisms use, different organisms can use, I'm going to think that vital gases might be necessary or really important. What do you think? You think that's what it means? Okay. Let's read it over again. Both oxygen and carbon dioxide are important gases that different organisms can use. Does that make sense? Okay, so it might be that. All right. Write it down and talk to each other and think about what you think that means. Okay? Good job. Hey girls, what was one of your words that you both highlighted? Oh, heterotroph. Okay, write that down. So write it down for your word. Okay. So this is where it's talking about consumer. Okay? Can you read for us, Kenya? It's okay, don't worry about it. You're good. Can you read for us the sentence that comes before the word?
You may have heard about this group being at the top of the food chain. They're also known as
Heterotrophs. Good. Okay. So this paragraph 6, what are they talking about? What's the main point in the first sentence of paragraph 6? What are they talking about?
That things at the top of the food chain are called heterotrophs.
Okay. And it says they're also known as heterotrophs. But what do you see in the first sentence? What are they talking about? Consumers. Okay, so they start off by talking about consumers, right? But then right here, they're also known as heterotrophs. So do you think, what's the clue?
That the consumers are also called.
You can use the names interchangeably. Okay, it's like a synonym, right? They can be referred to as consumers and heterotrophs. So if you know what a consumer is, do you know what a heterotroph is? Okay, so what is a consumer? Very good. They need to eat and take in other things for energy, right? Can consumers make their own food? No. Okay, that's a producer, right? A plant. Okay, good job. So what you just said to me, write it down. You got it. Great job. Organisms? Oh, it's okay. Hey, that's fine. Some people don't know. Or do you want to tell them because you think you know? Tell them. Show me the word. Are you talking about organs or organisms? Okay, you're talking about organs. You're right. Like your lungs and your brain. Yeah, those are organs. He's looking at organisms. What's an organism? You tell him? Okay. Organisms are, let's see. Does it talk about it here? Let's see. Well, we know that all different kind of organisms interact in an ecosystem. So, close. Organisms are anything that are living. So organisms can be like animals, plants, okay? Those are considered living things. Is soil an organism? No, it's not one, okay? So it's something non-living. But organisms are anything that are living things in an ecosystem, okay? All right, guys, let's come together. Do you all have at least 2 words that you wrote down that you have in common? Remember, you're supposed to be writing them down. Write the word and what you think it means. Okay? I'm going to give you about 1 or 2 minutes, and then we're going to come back as a group. Okay? You guys are doing really great. Keep it up. You guys have to put words here. Come on. Well, what word did you have in common that you both circled? Oh, okay. So put that there. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you wrote it here. Okay. I wanted you to write the word there. That's fine. Oh, you guys just put it in a different spot. Okay. So read to me. What did you talk about when you read the word spelled? Read to me what you got.
On this part, it says producers are living things that can make their own energy out of non-living resources all around them, like oxygen and water. They're also known as they're like producers.
Okay, good. If you don't need it, you get rid of it, right? Good job. Very good. That's great. All right, so write the word expelled there, and then write what you think it is. Okay. Was there another word, Adriel, that you circled that was unknown or you weren't sure of? Vital. Okay, put that there. And then I want you guys to go back to the text. Vital was a word that we saw twice. They used it 2 times. Okay. So I want you to go back into the text and find the word vital and see if there's any clues that can help you. Okay. When you find it, if you need help, let me know. How are you guys doing? Ooh, you picked heterotrophs. Okay, where was heterotrophs? What paragraph? Can you show me? Yep.
Paragraph 6.
Okay, perfect. Yep, you located it. Great. Okay, so let's look at this. Can you read the beginning of the paragraph for me, Dorian?
Consumers are living things that need to eat other organisms to survive. You may have heard about this group as being at the top of the food chain. They're also known as heterotrophs.
Heterotrophs. Good. Okay, so stop right there. So we start off with that paragraph talking about what? Yep, and what's the vocab word that we're focusing on in that paragraph?
Heterotrophs.
Yes, heterotrophs is right here, but what is the main idea of this first paragraph?
They're at the top of the food chain.
Yeah, but who's they?
Consumers.
Yeah, good, consumers, right? So they talk about consumers first, and they say how they're at the top of the food chain. Do you know what that phrase means?
Like,
They're the what?
they're best.
Ooh, they're the best? Maybe. How about, are they the strongest? Yeah, okay, usually. So consumers are at the top of the food chain. They're the ones that are able to like eat all the other organisms and things. Like they're kind of like, you know, the head honcho, right? Like the big time ones. Okay, so we think about like carnivores, right? They hunt and eat all the other smaller animals, right? All those kind of things. Yep. So consumers are there, but look right here. It says they're also known as. So when they say they're, who are they referring to? They're referring to the what?
Consumers.
Yeah, so they're saying they're also known as heterotrophs. So they're saying that you can use the word consumers and heterotrophs interchangeably. It's the same thing. So if you know what a consumer is, do you know what a heterotroph is? Yeah, okay, so write it down. So what are heterotrophs? You said they what? Very good. Perfect. Great job. They eat both plants and meats like. Love it. Good job. All right, guys, everyone, let's come back together. All right, I heard some really good conversations, and I saw some really great writing. Okay, so a lot of the pairs had similar words that they circled, okay, that were maybe unknown or unfamiliar, okay? Would any of the pairs like to share out one of their words? Okay, Kenya and Allison. Heterotroph? Mm-hmm.
So
Have you ever heard of that word before? Okay. So how did you you and Allison figure out what you think it might be?
at the top of the first sentence on the paragraphs, it says consumers of living things that need to eat other organisms to survive. And then on the second sentence, it says you may have heard about this group as being at the top of the food chain. They're also known as heterotrophs.
Very good. So you were able to make the connection, right? If consumers are also known as heterotrophs, right? So you can use that word interchangeably. So if you know the definition of a consumer, you know what a heterotroph is. Let me show you. I have this up here to kind of show you. I didn't want to show you right away because I wanted you to figure it out on your own. But heterotrophs are consumers, okay? They need to eat other organisms in order to live. So can a heterotroph make its own food?
No.
No. Who makes their own food?
Producers.
Producers. Did anybody circle autotroph? You did? Okay, was that one of the ones you wrote down? No. Okay, so that's perfect. Let me ask you guys, the three of you, when you looked at the word autotroph, what paragraph did you have to go back to find that? What number paragraph so we all can follow you? Okay, everyone, we're on paragraph 4. All right, can you read, Jose, the sentence where autotrophs was?
Autotrophs do not need to kill anything in order to eat plants and algae.
Very good. They don't have to kill anything. So they're not hunting or consuming, right? They don't have to worry about that. Look right here. It says, producers are living things that can make their own energy out of non-living resources all around us, like oxygen and water. They're also known as autotrophs, okay? So right here, autotrophs is like a synonym for producers. Those names can be used interchangeably. So you have to remember that if you don't see the word producer, but you see autotroph, you have to think what, Sam? If you see the word autotroph and they don't use the word producer, what do you have to remember? What's an autotroph? What's another name for autotroph? Oh, I'm asking. Think of the word auto. What's in the beginning of that prefix auto? Do you know what auto means? Do you know what auto means? Okay. Does someone want to help him out? Danny? What do you think, what does autotroph mean?
Something that makes its own food.
Yeah, that's a producer. And just so you know, the prefix auto, I'm going to put it right here. Guys, look, the prefix auto actually means, self. And troph means feeding. So are autotrophs self-feeding? Yeah, they make their own food, okay? When I think of an autobiography, have you ever heard the word autobiography? It's a person who writes their life story about themselves. So autotrophs is they're producers. They make their own food. Okay, so let's look at this. So for autotrophs, we have grass, plants, some bacteria, and algae. Algae is typically, in water. You find them in the water, okay? All right, so now do you guys feel confident that you know the difference between the two? All right, so sometimes you'll see like articles or questions and they'll say autotroph or heterotroph and you have to understand what the two are. Does anybody know what the prefix hetero means? Have you ever heard that before? Hetero actually means different or other. So does that make sense? Because heterotrophs have to what? They have to eat different things or other things. Yep, they can't make their own food. Great job. All right, guys, you did awesome with this. All right, so Danny, can you go around and collect this so I can have this from everyone? Thanks. Everyone give that to Danny. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna get the 4-box organizer together, okay? And I loved how when you were working with your partners, I saw you going back to the text and you were citing what paragraph you were on and where you were looking. What? Yep, so now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna have you guys spread out and go on your own now independently. Listen up, listen up. What we're gonna do next is I want you to answer, yes. Oh yeah, sure, in a minute. I want you to look at these questions, okay? I'm gonna pass this out for you. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, sir. Okay. Put your name on top of here. This is our 4-box organizer, okay? Our 4-box organizer has 4 questions, okay? These questions are dependent on you using the text, okay? Remember what I said, remember what we talked about with our learning targets. We're gonna clearly cite text evidence while we read, and we're gonna use our 4-box organizer to do that. So everyone put your name on top. Walter, can you read just what the directions say up top for me, nice and loud? You read it out.
Use text from the ecosystem of forest to support your answer.
Good job. Okay, so you're going to use your text, right? You have your annotated text. It's all ready to go. Remember how we used our 2 colors, right? What did we do? What did we use our orange for? Can someone remind me? What was orange? Alex.
Main idea.
Good. So whenever you felt like you were finding the main idea of a specific part of the article, you put a little orange star. And Allison, what did we use for the blue? Good. Keywords or details will be underlined in blue, okay? So that's going to help you. All right. Very good. To find our evidence. Yes, Danny, we're finding our evidence. All right, so before you fill this out, there's 4 questions, and you're going to need to use your article to support them. Can we read these sentence starters together? Because these would be a great way for you to write the beginning of your answers on here, right? Can we read them together? All of us, ready?
According to the text, the article.
Okay, wait, time out. Let's try that again.
According to the text, the article states for exactly what the text says, stating based on the text.
Okay, very good. Some of you went a little fast at the end. So these are some sentence starters that I want to see you incorporate in here that show us that we're going back to the text to find the answers. We're not just coming up with these things from our head or from what we previously learned in other classes at other times, okay? So the text says, based on the text, I know blank, all right? All right, get to work. I want you using your text to help you with this, all right? I'm going to be walking around if you need support or if you have any questions, all right? All right, get to work. That means like, you don't have to worry about hunting, right? About like bread. They lead into something's already dead, and they kind of just go there. You need to, so right here it says, be sure to eat one example of them taking from the ecosystem. So you need an example. So maybe you have to keep reading just so you can see. So I think, yeah, I think you need to turn the page. Read a little more. Let's see. Okay, so see in paragraph 5, are there any examples about how they take from the ecosystem? What do they take from the ecosystem?
That they usually eat dead animals and plants.
Good job. So they're feeding off dead animals and plants. So you can put that's how they take, but then what's an example of how they give to the ecosystem? How do they help the ecosystem?
Well, when an organism dies and its body, no.
You're right, look. Right here, you're right. The body decomposes and bacteria get to work, right? Bacteria, keep going.
Let's imagine the dead organism is a deer. But bacteria obtain energy from the deer's body while helping it decompose efficiently.
Good. So their bacteria is getting energy from the deer's body, right? And then what do? Underline that, right?
The deer's body breaks down.
Yes, and then what does, now my question for you is that's the first one, what's an example of how they give back to the ecosystem? How does a decomposer give back? Keep reading, see if you can find it. Right over here where you were.
When the deer's body breaks down because of the work done by the bacteria, it returns to the soil. This is important for the earth because the carcass actually gives vital energy back to the environment.
So look, right here. Decomposers give energy back in the soil. See right here, it makes rich soil. You got it. Make sure you have one of each in your example. You got it. Right here. Very good. Make sure that you end your sentence. What does it mean when they interact? Yeah, they're coming together, right? Maybe helping each other, maybe eating each other, right? They can interact in different ways. Good job. Organisms interact with each other. Okay? Where? Show me. Okay, read it to me.
They're also known as heterotrophs. Humans or heterotrophs eat both plants and animals to live.
Good.
Heterotrophs, a deer eating plants, a wolf hunting a deer, a hawk eating worms, and worms eating both bugs and plants.
Very good. So that's a perfect example about how they're interacting with each other, right? So you can write that there, okay? So that line right there, you can put right there, all right? Make sure that you use one of those sentence starters, okay? Based on the text. Okay. How are you doing over here? Oh, good question. Where did you, what paragraph is it in? Try to locate the word because it's around. So that's here. Read this, read that. Read that. Okay, so it says give it one example of what do they take and how much of it we give it back. You gotta keep reading to find that out over here. Okay, so focus on paragraph 8. Okay, good job. what do we need? Like, what do we use? What do we need?
Our I forgot what
Well,
it's called.
what do we get from plants? What do they give us?
Oxygen.
Very good. They give us oxygen. And right here it says trees use carbon dioxide that we release as waste, right? So we don't need the carbon dioxide. We give it to them, right? Now listen to this. What can we infer would happen if many of the trees were cleared away in a forest ecosystem? So I want you to reread paragraph 1 and think about, it doesn't tell us directly, but I want you to infer what would happen, bless you, what would happen if we cleared a bunch of trees in a forest ecosystem? What would happen? Okay, think about it. And then how do they interact? This is, they don't know how to interact with each other. What evidence supports this? Well, it says that they all interact with each other, right? But it says what evidence from passages supports that? Like, can you give an example of the evidence that shows that? Like, what you're writing right now is what it says right here, right? They interact with each other. But I want you to find evidence from the passage that supports this. So can you find an example of that happening in the passage? Do you understand? Okay. Shows us this. So can you go back to the text and find organisms interacting with each other? Can you find an example of that? Okay. Did you figure it out? Okay. I want you, when you're done, I want you to read it to me.
If we cleared away the trees, then we won't have any plants, and since we don't have plants, we can't breathe oxygen.
Okay, good. We would have less clean oxygen, yeah. But what else would happen? Because remember, we breathe in oxygen, but we expel, right? Remember that word? We expel carbon dioxide, right? Who needs carbon dioxide?
The trees.
If there were less trees to get that carbon dioxide, what's going to happen? Remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about deforestation?
Yes.
Cutting down a bunch of trees in an area?
Yes.
What happens if all those trees are taken away out of the ecosystem? You don't have the trees to what? What do they need?
They need the carbon dioxide.
So all this carbon dioxide is being put out because it's the waste, our waste, right? And we don't have any trees to take it, so what's going to happen?
We will have no plants.
Yeah, we won't have no plants, but we'll also have a bunch of what?
Carbon dioxide.
Is that good?
No.
Why?
Because we don't need it for our body.
Yeah, and it also will cause like the greenhouse effect, remember? And it won't be good for our environment. Okay, so I wanted you, good job, I wanted you to be able to infer that it would be a negative thing for our environment because we'd have an excess or we'd have too much of the carbon dioxide. Okay, that was tricky, that was hard. Very good. All right, everyone, I'm really proud of you. You guys are doing a great job. Can we take a quick pause and come back for a second? I want you to finish writing whatever you're on. I want to go over a question together. When you put your pencils down and you're ready, take your time. Ooh, that's a good one. I love it. All right, everyone, look up here. So, I'm seeing really great things, and I love how you cite your text evidence. Let's look at this box on the bottom right, where it says reread paragraph 1, okay? this is a little different than all the other questions because this box is asking you to do what? Infer. Good job, infer, which is trickier. It's different, it's harder than when you are explicitly, like clearly stating evidence that's in the text, right? When we infer, we use the evidence or what we learn from the passage and we take like our prior knowledge, right? And we put them together to make an inference, right? Remember we talked about this? All right, so who can read this question out loud for us, nice and loud? Who wants to read? Okay, Allison. Okay, good. All right, so I shared that statement with you, okay? Now, it says, what can we infer would happen if many of the trees were cleared away in a forest ecosystem? So, I'm wondering, remember, we take in oxygen, but we breathe out carbon dioxide, right? Carbon dioxide is that waste that what's that fancy word?
Expel.
Expel, good, we expel it, we get rid of it, right? So I guess my question for you is if we're continuing to expel the carbon dioxide, but we have less trees, what does that mean? What's going to happen? Yeah, there's going to be an excess of carbon dioxide, right, in our ecosystem, right? Jose, read to them what you put, because you had a good point. What did you put for the inferring one?
The animals.
Nice and loud, I can't hear you.
The animals will lose their habitats and they'll lose.
Okay, yeah, so I like what you said. Jose said if we cut down so many trees, animals will lose their habitat. That's true, right? But for this question, I wanted you to reread paragraph 1 because that's the paragraph where they talk about carbon dioxide and oxygen, okay? So remember like weeks ago we talked about deforestation? What's deforestation? Oh, Adriel, nice and loud. Yeah, taking down a bunch of trees in a specific area, right? Is that a benefit or is that harmful? Yeah, it's super harmful for an ecosystem. So right here, what we can infer, what can we write? We can infer that if we cut or clear away too many trees, yep, good job, in an ecosystem, we will have what? Who can tell me? What's going to happen to carbon dioxide? Ooh, beautiful word. We will have, very good Adriel, an excess amount of carbon dioxide. That means, guys, that we will have too much of that gas. And do you remember what happens when we talked about deforestation like probably a month or two ago? When we have too much carbon dioxide, how does that negatively impact our environment? What does it do? Does anyone remember?
It's making it more hot.
Yes, good job, Alex. It's affecting our environment and our atmosphere. It's making our atmosphere more warmer. It's making more hot, and it's part of the greenhouse effect. It's negative. Very, very good. So we don't want an excess amount of carbon dioxide. That's why we want to keep trees, okay? We don't want that to happen. Very good. Okay, really quick, because we're on the topic of inferring, okay? I want you to take your article, and I want you to turn to the second page, because there was something in there that I thought was really interesting, and I wanted to highlight it. All right, everyone go to paragraph 7, okay? Paragraph 7 is a really large paragraph. Can someone read to me where it starts, and it talks about the sun and the grass, and then it goes into the deer and the wolf. Let's see if we can find this. We'll read it together. Did you find it? Okay, hold on. Let's just make sure that we're on the right page. Okay. It's right. Okay, right here, everyone go where it says heterotrophs like deer. Okay? Kenya's gonna read it nice and loud.
Heterotrophs like deer eat those plants to get their energy, and other heterotrophs like wolves eat the deer for their energy.
Okay, so what can we infer? Because that was really important. That's a really important concept, but I don't know if you know it yet. What can we infer about what you just read? We talked about, and I have a visual here for you. Look, we have the sun, right? What is the sun doing, Kenya?
It gives energy to the grass.
Good, it gives energy to the grass, what's another word for grass? Our grasses, they're what? They're producers. Good, so it gives energy to producers, and then what happens next? Good, the deer eats the grass. So the deer gets its what from the grass? Very good. And then what happens next? The wolf consumes the deer, right? Hunts the deer, and he gets his energy from the deer, right? What can we infer, though? What's happening here? It's a food chain. Very good. But what is happening to the energy from the sun? It's producing? What is it doing? This is tricky. It's what? The energy from the sun gets passed on to what? Huh? It gets passed on to the grass, which goes into the deer, which is eaten by the wolf, which means what? Yeah, every single, this wolf is not just eating the deer, he's eating the grass that's in the deer that has the energy from the sun. So energy is transferred and it goes to everything in the food chain. Isn't that really cool? And this is why it's so important that we have a balanced food chain, right? We don't want too much of something or not enough of something else because one thing can throw off the whole ecosystem. Very good, you guys did awesome. Good job. All right, guys, we're gonna put these away, okay? And I'm going to give you some extra time next week to finish your questions. You did awesome. I'm really proud of you. Okay, stop. How did it go?